I'm looking at my phone here, and I see an app, and the app's called Our Voice. And when I tap on that app, in 10 seconds, I can contact my representatives. And something very special just came along, and it's going to change the way that we do politics. It's going to change the way that we're able to collect data for any number of reasons. And I'm not the best person to describe this, as I'm not as technically gifted as our technical director here at Our Voice USA. So maybe I should just let Corey take it away.
Thanks, Chris. So in our app, we now live have a canvassing tool that anyone can use for any purpose. If you're a student doing a research project and you are knocking on doors or walking around your school asking questions, you can use our app. If you're collecting signatures for a ballot initiative, you can use our app. If you are canvassing for a particular candidate, you can use our app. It doesn't matter what it's for. You don't have to ask us. You just download our free app and you can use it. And what this app does is it allows you to create a form and share it with others so that you're all collecting the same data. And then with a tap of a button, after you're all done, it exports to a spreadsheet all of the hard work of your entire team in one place.
Wow. So they don't have to ask Our Voice USA permission to access any of the data that they produce, and it's theirs forever, right?
Right. So the data goes from your phone to your data sync account. Currently, we use Dropbox. We have plans to allow others. The data is private to you and who you share it with. The people who canvass for you only see their own data. You as the form owner get to see everyone's data. There's no privacy issues of other people seeing what other people collected unless you, the form owner, shared it with them.
That's fantastic. So they can write any question they want in there. They can produce any style of answer, either a strongly disagree or strongly agree or neutral or even a yes, no, or they can... Oh, wow. Sorry. My mind is just firing off with all the different possibilities that you could use this thing besides just canvassing for a candidate. So do you have any other special features that are coming up in the near future for us?
Yeah. So the single biggest thing that people who do canvass for candidates ask me is, well, what about voter data? We want to knock on doors that we know we're not going to get yelled at, or we want to talk to only likely voters. And I understand the reasons, and originally I would dismiss that as preaching to the choir, but having learned more about politics over the past year or so, I'm beginning to understand why they want that. So here in the near future, we'll allow them to import their own lists of data so that they can see pins of addresses that they previously canvassed and maybe they put in a spreadsheet into the app, and now they can just see them on their screen and recanvass them. Or if they get data from the state or county of voter lists that they purchase, they can put it in the app and use it because it's their own data that they acquired through their own means, and they just use our tool to, collect info.
Wow. So yeah, the only pushback I've seen in discussing this canvassing feature with people was that they wanted to have the backlog of information that the other competitors, you might call them, are able to offer for a very hefty price, I might add. But all you have to do is, if you have the collected information, you can enter it yourself. You'll be able to, right? You'll be able to create your own history, so you don't have to rely on some third party to provide it. That's pretty cool. Corey, an app like this, it seems like it's so elegant and precise, and it does exactly what it's intended to do. But nobody really understands how much time and effort really went into this. I would have to say, from inception to this current status it's in, which I would call a finished product, but obviously these things can improve. How long did that really take you and your team?
Well, I myself am an IT guy, but I've been a back-end systems guy. I've never done user interfaces. I've never done mobile apps. This would be my first mobile app. So for me, the process was more than just writing the app. It was learning how to do all the little things with user interfaces and such. So when the day when I threw off, the gloves came off, and I threw down and sat at my computer and thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do what I want to do, and I don't even know what I want to do. From that moment to when the canvassing went live in the App Store was 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Wow.
And that most of that time was me learning how to do it, me figuring out what to do, me figuring out what we can't do, and working through uncertainty and, trying different things. If I had to do it all over again with the knowledge that I accumulated, it would take me about 2 weeks to write this app again.
That's great. Yeah,
So,
well, it's like going on a trip, right? On your way out to a new location, you are checking out the sites. You don't know what the speed limits are. It takes you forever to get there, but traveling home half the time. Am I right?
Yes.
Wow.
So 8 months of the learning process, and then, just a few weeks of actual execution of hard coding.
But that just goes to show you that if you're determined to get something accomplished and you really want to do something for your community, all that really matters is that first step of action, taking the gloves off, saying, I have to do this. This isn't a question of will I or won't I, or if I have the time. You'll make the time. And even if it takes, what is that, 8 months versus 2 weeks? So that's 16 times as long as it ought to. You still persevered. You guys produced one hell of an app, and I'm in the team, and I had nothing to do with the actual coding and stuff, but I still feel like a sense of accomplishment, maybe a percentage of what you feel, of course.
Well, and to be honest, it took a lot of, there was a lot of failure involved, and it's working through the failure, and you and others who weren't contributors to the code directly were contributors to motivation, and you showed the light at the end of the tunnel, and that honestly is a big part of what kept me going.
Well, I'm happy to help push, sir. It made one hell of an app. Well, Corey, is there anything else that you would like to let the podcast audience know about your app or Our Voice USA as a whole?
So the app also works on tablets, and more specifically Wi-Fi only tablets. Basically, you're at home, you download or you pull up the app, and it shows the forms in your Dropbox, and you can get to them because you're over Wi-Fi. But you walk away from home and you no longer have internet connection. Well, the app still works. You can still knock on doors and canvas and record the information. And when you get back home to your Wi-Fi hotspot, you press sync and the data uploads.
Oh my God, I actually had no idea about that feature. That really changes the game. So even if you just have a smart tablet or a smartphone that doesn't have that it doesn't actually act as a phone, like an iPod per se, you could technically use this app and still be able to contribute.
Yes.
That is fantastic. You hear that, people? You should go download this app as soon as you can. Well, Corey, it has been a pleasure once again, as always. I really like doing these and updating people on the app features and stuff. And I think you will have a pretty good, much-deserved rest after those 8 months and several weeks of hard labor.
Huh, rest? What's that?
Maybe put your feet up and check out a goddamn movie.
I'll do that.
Okay, Corey. Well, take it easy, sir.
All right, welcome back. So I'm going to go on a limb and say you probably heard all about the app, and y'all heard what it can do and what it can't do and all that good stuff. So go out and get the app.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is, I know everyone's talked about it to death and everything else. I'm just going to throw it out there, is the whole gun control thing.